You can achieve a mouse-like precision with motion controls, and if you are trying to get into Gyro Aim, there's no better place to start than with Borderlands. Actually, this rings true not just with Gyro, but with any method of controller actually. Borderlands is really beginner friendly. I know that the Switch version has motion controls, but I heard that is very bad implemented, so I'm not even going to bother with that. In fact, I'll be playing on PC. So how does this work? Well, Borderlands 2, Borderlands the pre-sequel, and Tiny Tina's Assault of the Dragon's Keep have the same configuration. But yeah, how this configuration works? Well, I have a 1 to 3 sensitivity scale, so 1 full rotation of the controller means 3 full rotations in-game. The only thing that I change is that I like to jump with L1 and use my ult with X, so I don't have to lift my finger from the analog stick. Speaking of the analog stick, I'm also using FlickStick. FlickStick allows me to snap the camera to any angle. It's like a compass. So you see, if I put the analog forward, I won't be able to look up or down, so that's why we have motion controls. On this configuration, you can hold the R3 button to disable gyro, so you can recalibrate the position of your controller, which you'll be doing a lot of since this game has a pretty strong recoil. Every time that you enter the menu, since you were using gyro prior to this, the mouse appears on the screen for a slight second. So you're not seeing the mouse right now because he's here in the corner of the screen. This is enough to tell Steam to change action sets. So right now, gyro is completely disabled. So you can go around menus pressing any button you want and it will be just fine. Then, once you come back to the game, gyro is active again. Completely seamless. There's just one thing that you need to do before playing, and that is you need to go to the options menu, and on the controller you need to disable aim assist. You also need to disable aim assist here and set the mouse sensitivity to 10. Now, Borderlands 1 works a little differently. For some reason, the mouse cursor does appear on the screen, but Steam is not able to recognize the mouse cursor, so you can change between action sets when the mouse cursor is on. But even despite that, the game works fine. It's very weird. Like, I can still use the D-pad and mess around with menus even with the cursor on the screen. So it's a little annoying because you may pass through some options that will be highlighted when motion controls are on, but honestly, this is completely fine. And if you really want to disable gyro, you can just press the mute button and gyro will be completely disabled. Here, you also need to change the sensitivities, all the sensitivities to 10, alright, and disable aim assist. So Borderlands 3 works a little bit differently. Every time that you enter the menu, the mouse cursor is on the screen, as you can see. But when you enter the map, the mouse cursor is hidden because this is now a 3D map, different from the previous games. How can you disable gyro in a situation like this? Well, I found a pretty clever solution. Every time that you enter a menu, the menu action set will be active, meaning now this is just a full controller setup. There is no keyboard and mouse or gyro being used here. But when you go back to the game, you see that the gyro is disabled, but once you start walking, the gyro is enabled. I got this idea from a dude that I forgot the name, but he was making a video about Cyberpunk on the Steam Deck, and that was super clever. Yeah, you can still navigate through the menus and through the map just by not fully tilting the analog stick forward, because if you do that, you see that the mouse was enabled for a split second and now the second analog stick won't work. But since I'm using the DualSense, I have another solution. I can use the trackpads to move around. It's emulating an analog stick, so it's not as precise as emulating the mouse, but it works really well and is a completely viable way of just using the map. Even riding vehicles, it's just fine. For you to disable aim assist on this game, you need to go to the accessibility settings. Here you have controller aim assist and controller ADS to snap to target. When you're using a usual controller scheme, like with gyro off and usual analog aim, these two settings make the game absolutely more fun to play on the controller. But when you're using motion controls, this is actually a bit annoying. Also, make sure that the look sensitivity and all the other sensitivities in the game are set to 3, so you can have a perfect FlickStick and a perfect gyro. If you want to play any game like this, you just need to enter the big picture mode, select the game that you want, go to controller configuration, and right here on your layout, you can go to community layouts. The name of my layout for Borderlands 2, the pre-sequel in Tiny Tina's, is Seamless FlickStick. So you can just scroll down to Seamless FlickStick config by FlickStick videos. For Borderlands 1, it's just FlickStick by FlickStick videos because I couldn't create a more seamless experience. And for Borderlands 3 is also Seamless FlickStick config by FlickStick videos. Alright, and that's it. Thanks for watching. For more motion control games and tips, just give it a like, share, and subscribe to the FlickStick Videos YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.